And honestly, there's been so much news that if I were to have compiled all the news we missed that we would talk about on the show for one episode, we would be talking for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So instead, I picked one story. And it's actually related to what we've been talking about for the last 5 or 4 weeks. Silent Hill, spooky games. In October, I think it was like right before we recorded the bracket episode, Silent Hill had this little thing where they were like, hey, this is what we've been working on. Not Silent Hill, Konami. And Konami announced a bunch of Silent Hill stuff. So I want to talk about it. How does that sound, Kim?
Sounds good to me.
All right. This is from Matt Kim at IGN. And hey, maybe it's old news, but I haven't been able to talk about it with my friend Cayman. So the biggest Silent Hill fan I know. So if you're like, this is old news, get fucked. I'm talking about it. Konami is bringing back Silent Hill in a big way. As part of the new Silent Hill transmission, Konami announced multiple Silent Hill games and projects, including a full remake of Silent Hill 2. Read on to see everything that was announced today in the Silent Hill transmission. As rumored, Bloober Team is developing a full remake of Silent Hill 2 with the help of original team silent artist Masahiro Ito and composer Akira Yamaoka. The remake was announced for PlayStation 5 only. The remake will retell the story of James Sunderland, who is looking for his dead wife, who sent him a mysterious letter from the town of Silent Hill. Konami and Bloober are promising a fully reworked game using new technology and delivered in 4K. So let's stop here. I want to stop and talk about each of the games as we go through with them.
Okay.
How excited are you for a Silent Hill 2 remake?
I think that this either is going to be great or it's going to be terrible, or maybe not terrible. It's going to be great or it's going to just be kind of meh.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be held up to the same standards as the Resident Evil remakes, which could either be a good thing or a bad thing, just really depending. Silent Hill 2, if you guys don't remember, it has been 2 weeks since we've done that. Won our spooky bracket. Silent Hill 2 is an incredible game. To me, it is the best horror game ever made. And it's great. I think Team Bloober has everything they need to be able to make it great. And they have all the assets at hand to do that.
Yeah.
And I really do think that Konami will allow them to achieve that vision. The question is what does that look like today?
Sure.
And will audiences resonate with this game in this format? Because presumably, there's going to be people who are diehard Silent Hill fans that will play it, but I feel like a lot, because the game is so old and the fact that we haven't really seen another Silent Hill game worth of shit, it's kind of died off, right? We've had Resident Evils, every couple of years we'll get a new version of Resident Evil or something like that. So it's not like we were lacking in that field. So the question is, I worry that people might not resonate with it as much because it isn't as heavy on the action as Resident Evil is.
Correct. I wonder if they'll change that.
And so then that's the question is what liberties will Konami allow Bloober Team to have? And I don't think that they're going to hold them back from doing much, but I do think at a certain point they're going to ask to try to maintain that level of game. So that's going to be tough. I'm excited to get my hands back on it, and it looked great, and it probably not be nearly as clunky. Hopefully.
Yeah. I as someone who just finished Silent Hill 2 last month, I am excited to play it in a rebuilt format. But I agree. I wonder if it's it's too out of time right now, because if they don't go the Resident Evil 2 or the soon to be Resident Evil 4 remake route of they're remaking it, but they're also remixing it. They're adding in new stuff. With Resident Evil 2, they added in some new stuff. They gave it quality of life changes. It wasn't just let's rebuild this in the exact same way with better graphics. It's let's make this game as if it were to be made today, essentially. And I think from the little bit that we've heard about it, it sounds like they are going the Last of Us Part 1 route with this, not the Resident Evil 2 route, which is let's be completely true to the original and rebuild it from the ground up. Now, we haven't got a lot of intel, so that might not turn out to be true. That's just kind of what it's suggesting at the moment. But even then, even if it's the same game, it still will be rebuilt, so it will feel different. I wonder if they're gonna add some new twists and turns to it. I don't know, we'll see, but I am interested to see how that turns out. But Cayman, it's not the only Silent Hill game that was announced. We also got Silent Hill Townfall, a new spin-off developed by No Code Studios, They recently, or at some point, made a game called Stories Untold, which I'm not familiar with, and publisher Annapurna Interactive. This new project will be a unique take on the Silent Hill franchise from a highly decorated AA developer. Now, did this one do anything for you? This is of the announcements. I think Townfall is the one that I'm least interested in.
Yeah, I don't know. This one seems interesting. Annapurna is known for more art style games.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how they do it, because I would love like just like a Silent Hill game where you're maybe not in combat, but you just get to explore a very creepy, fucked up place.
Yeah. Actually, this is not the one I'm least interested in. The least interested one is the last one. This one, because of Annapurna, I'm actually interested in. I'd like to see what this looks like.
Yeah, so I'm curious more so than anything about this. 100% because Annapurna is behind it. So, and they tend to make very good games. And so I think with the pedigree of Silent Hill and the fact that it is very story and atmosphere driven, I think that there is potential here for something very cool.
Yeah, I hope so. And then next up, this is the one I'm actually most excited about. Silent Hill F. Another new spinoff announced is Silent Hill F. Set in 1960s Japan, this narrative-driven spinoff will be written by acclaimed Japanese writer Ryukishi. I don't know how you would say this, Ryukishi 7 or Ryukishi 07. I'm not sure how they pronounce their name. Who created visual novels like Higurashi and Umineko. The spinoff will juxtapose a beautiful and terrifying world and focus on the psychological, supernatural mysteries of Silent Hill. I didn't think to pull up B-roll for this for our Twitch and YouTube viewers, but if you're interested at all in this, go watch the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer is very cool. My one hesitation here is I don't know how it works within the universe of Silent Hill.
Right.
Silent Hill is very much set in an American town.
Yeah. A fake American town, but an
fake American town. But yes, and it's there's a lot of lore to it. If you go back, and I don't want to dive too far into the lore, but a lot of it starts off, and there's a lot of Native American mythos that just kind of built into the world of Silent Hill, and that's kind of where it all starts. If you go back and read some of the comics and graphic novels based on it, there's much more that gets into like the demonic side and angels and demigods and stuff like that. But a lot of it all starts in this town where the dead don't remain dead, but like the dead don't remain silent. That's kind of the point, right, of Silent Hill. And they fuck with your head. So how they introduce this into Japan, I don't know. But the game, the I don't know if it's a concept or more of like a mood trailer. Looks fucking crazy.
It looks insane, and like
it
looks so spooky. I tell you what, if you have tryptophobia, the fear of like holes, do not watch this trailer, because there are a bunch of that in this trailer. I believe that's what it's called, but it looks really spooky, and like I'm really interested in the Japan setting, because especially from what I know of Silent Hill, which is a game and a half, I don't know anything about the first or any of the sequels after 3. Is it's all like present day stuff, probably present then, like in the 90s, 2000s, but present day. And this being set in the 60s, I wonder if this is like a prequel, like what kind of causes all of this to happen. I don't know, but that could be cool to learn about, like,
so
why all these spookies started.
Yeah, so if they start it back, like if they're just kind of doing away with like the lore based around like the books and the comics, graphic novels and such, the first initial lore that we get is dated back to like the early 1800s, and it's about a guy named, what is his name? It's like the Ghost Rider, Devil Rider, or something. Who was like almost like a bank robber. Like he was a bad guy who killed a bunch of people, and a lot of it has to do with like manifest destiny and stuff like that. So you can probably read between the lines here. So it is interesting. So maybe, I mean, it might very well be like they might be kind of doing away with some of that stuff, because people, I mean, unless you're looking for it, you don't really get it. You know, it's not like part of a video game. You have to actively search outside of that for like additional stuff.
I could see them making the creative choice to make it canon in a game
Yeah.
potentially. Or maybe the origin story is more than what they had originally made. Maybe there's more
Yeah.
to it from
So
a different
there's
part.
a lot of really cool
Yeah.
stuff here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a couple other announcements from this transmission. Silent Hill Ascension, potentially the most unique announcement from the transmission. Konami announced Silent Hill Ascension, an immersive project where participants around the world will control the characters in a new Silent Hill story. Basically, a Let's Play Pokemon version of a new Silent Hill story that will be live on multiple platforms. Silent Hill Ascension is a collaboration between Genvid Entertainment, Bad Robot Games, Behavior Interactive, and DJ2 Entertainment. Now, while this might be an interesting concept, I couldn't be less interested.
This sounds dumb as shit.
Yeah.
I'll say it. This
Sure.
sounds ludicrous to me.
Like, this sounds, for me, I don't want to just like be a hater, but like, this sounds to me like we're sitting in a conference room. Someone asks the question, what's something that we've never done in video games? Someone comes up with this plan, and there should have, I think, been someone there that's like, that's never happened for a reason, Jim. And that reason is because it sounds fucking insane. So we'll see, but it just sounds really like clickbaity, markety. It doesn't sound like it'll actually be interesting. Yeah. And then final thing they announced, which I'm really interested to hear what you think about this, a movie. So Christoph, is it Gans or Gans? Like, do you know how you would say his name?
It's gone.
Gone. Okay. Christoph Gahn, the director of the first Silent Hill movie, is making a third movie in the series with Return to Silent Hill. Details are being kept under wraps for now, but Konami is promising more information about the project at a later date.
Okay. First Silent Hill movie. Genuinely cool.
Was that great? The one with Sean Bean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love him.
First Silent Hill movie. Genuinely cool. Was it great? No. Second Silent Hill movie. Was it good? Absolutely not. Was it fun? Not really either. What does this mean? We're getting a new Silent Hill movie. I don't know. I'll watch it. We'll 100% will cover this on a crossover. Sure. So
yeah,
we'll pull this up on Save Car Cinema Spotlight together in a crossover. Fuck yes, we will. But is it going to be any good? That's a great question. They're interesting though because they're very they try to be art forward.
Okay.
But then it all seems to just dissolve into just shit.
Yeah.
By the end. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Silent Hill works very well as a film.
I would think it should.
Yeah, I don't.
If it has the right people behind it, but
I don't know. I'm just very torn on that one. On one hand, I would be like, yeah, it could work. But I think if it works, it would work better as Mike Flanagan Netflix
sure.
8 episode miniseries, and then it's done.
Yeah,
that could work. Yeah. Just not sure. It's in a hour and a half, 2 hour long movie that you can figure out a way to pull stuff together.
Yeah.
If not, if you do, you probably should pull in someone like fucking Robert Eggers.
Sure.
And have him do it, but
the Eggman, Dr. Eggman.
Now we're starting to talk about elevated horror, and
sure. Speaking of Mike Flanagan, though, in October, Rose and I watched. It's an old show, but The Haunting of Bly Manor. So this is the second show he did.
So fucking good,
fucking incredible.
I
really liked Hill House. Last year in the Golden Beefies, I talked about how I didn't really like Midnight Mass, even though you really did.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it sucked. But Bly Manor, incredible. I loved it. I'm definitely watching it every year because I really liked it. But it came up naturally. I just had to say.
That's fine. No, it's a great show. I love it.
Cayman, I think we need to take a break.
Okay.
A break of that Kit Kat bar, because this episode is brought to you by Kit Kat.
Jesus Christ.
Not really. But Kit Kat, if you would like to sponsor us.
Kit Kat's these fucking losers? No,
these fucking guys?
They spent 30 minutes talking about fucking Marvel Snap. No, we do not want to sponsor you.
Kit Kat loves Marvel Snap.
I wouldn't doubt it.
As of right now. Go to KitKat.com with the code Spotlight20 for 1,000 free Kit Kats for the rest of your life. Don't try that. And don't send your lawyers after us. Cayman, let's